the verse that Future sings in Designer sings in that BTS remix.
Actually,
Designer was in a Korean pop song.
Yeah,
technically
the mic drop remix.
If you think about it, I'm okay with that because when y'all listen to K-pop, y'all don't understand shit no way. So Designer fits right in.
I don't listen to K-pop.
Yeah, why'd you look at Troy when you said that?
I looked at both of y'all because both of y'all listen to K-pop.
I just said I don't listen to K-pop. I just said it twice.
Both of y'all listen to K-pop. You listen to K-pop.
Spell K-pop.
Hey, but check this out though. You spell.
Got him.
You know what? Start the goddamn podcast. Start it.
We already recorded.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Good Game Do Us Part. I'm Henry, joined by my lovely co-host Troy, and we have two special guests in the building.
1.5. I'm not here.
What happens when we record? We're not in a building. And you say in a building.
I said in the building.
That's gonna be a lit podcast. Like, what kind of microphones you gonna use?
What, outside?
Out the building. Yo, we out the building.
We outside,
when
boys.
you do the
I don't know, man. Shit. Okay. No. I'll find some mics.
Just get boom mics.
He gonna steal.
Just boom mics.
I was gonna say he gonna have the boom with the wind filters on it. This must be a LA podcast.
Don't do that.
LA Troy.
Don't. There's no such thing as LA Troy. There's no such thing as LA Troy. We're not starting like this.
He gonna do the roots.
We're not starting. See, I was gonna say we're not starting like this. There's no LA.
Because you hit record. That's
my
the problem.
bad. My bad.
And if there is a LA Troy, he a punk. I got punk for some Chipotle beans, but
we gonna tell that story later. That's a funny story.
But yeah, guys, we got Shidosha here.
Yeah, what's
Do
going on?
you want to go by your real name or do you want to go by your?
Let's go by hand.
There's a
Hanzo?
This is Honzo 5K.
Oh my god.
Before Overwatch, right?
Yeah, before Overwatch. Don't get it twisted now.
People should know that, I guess, because
You know how many times people in game be like, yo, you Hanzo? Yo, Hanzo me?
I saw he posted that meme, you know, that stupid meme that's going around. Like, oh, my name is this. Oh, you mean from this? I hate that. I hate memes in general, but that one.
That helicopter meme was pissing me the fuck off. I'm just dropping in to say, no, drop in and shut up. Just get this fucking meme off my feed right now.
This is the problem when your special guests on your podcast are also your good friends. You just can't take anything seriously.
Yeah, this is just the homies podcast right now. We just cooling. It's fine.
Special edition.
So something that we didn't cover in the last episode that was like brought up but I forgot to mention was FaZe signed with Nissan.
Word.
I mean,
and it just shook it.
I mean,
We have video now, so they see you
it's
shaking your
here's
head.
the thing. It's just I'm so tired of car companies like just signing with random things just to be like, we're in here, we're involved. The fuck does that have? What does that have to do with anything?
So did it make you mad when BMW signed with Cloud9?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But why?
There's a politics behind it. I just don't remember it because I try to ignore everything in esports. But no, that's super common. It's like I'm not gonna call it a write off, but like that placement, they get that they get that back. That helps.
It's also the whole facade of gamers have all this money. So they think, oh, you have all this money, you're going to use it on my product. But it's like, actually, I want to use it for my computer and my games, not to purchase a fucking BMW or Mercedes-Benz. Nissan is more affordable, but...
That's one Nissan you get.
Do you,
yeah.
For sure, do you think people realize the facade that a lot of these orgs use with their players?
No.
Should we school them?
Yeah,
I can tell them. I don't mind doing it. All right, so fun fact. A lot of these luxury vehicles and stuff y'all see people in, the companies are putting them in it. So, like, I mean, okay, so some of them, at least in the Counter-Strike scene, probably can afford some of those Mercedes and Audis and junks like that, right?
I'm just going to move this forward.
Go ahead, it's fine. Because I am talking low. Yeah, they can afford some of that stuff, but most of the time, and this is with anything, they usually just put them in there. Like, the company will give them to you. They don't cost them much, if anything. Yeah. And it's great product placement. That's more eyes and yada yada. Like it's lifestyle marketing. I hope people know that. Like that's a real thing. I was we listened to the same podcast. It was a podcast we was listening to, and there was the same thing with like rappers and private jets. They don't own them jets. A company owns them jets. They just put them in the jets and say take pictures. There's 1 million+ people watching that. It looks good for the company. It's just all trying to get their money's worth from marketing.
I still think of the the time that Bow Wow was like.
Dog.
The fucking Bow Wow
Remember when he
challenge.
takes the
Holy
photo
shit.
when he's like in the private jet, and then somebody like Instagrammed him on like economy class,
Right, and
on like Delta or some shit.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with sitting in economy. Nothing
That's
is
how you
wrong.
save money.
For real. And there's nothing wrong with saving money. Like, yo, I swear to God, rap. I mean, we talking about rap on a gaming podcast, but still, because
No,
gamers do the same crap.
But they're in the same.
They're in the same realm.
They be buying alien wares for
What-
no reason. Like, you playing Minecraft, boy. Put that there.
What
You're a
rap,
Minecraft
what
streamer.
rap was in
Yeah.
the 90s is what gaming is now.
Yeah.
It's the whole
I mean,
image and
it's-
selling
it's-
the lifestyle.
Do a PC setup to play Fortnite. Fool, if you don't get on your cell phone and stop playing, what you doing,
You brought
bro?
up this was a while ago when you brought up like how many gamers like have like fake Yeezys just to have the look of being of like.
Yeah,
Oh
they
my
think
God,
it's part of the
Yeezys and
uniform.
sweatpants.
But I think
It's Yeezy. First, it's not even sweatpants. It's jogger sweatpants.
Yeah, Yeezys
It's
and
just
joggers,
so, like
right?
it cuts down, so it's like oh man, why is fucking so skinny? Why is his legs so skinny? Oh, because he got the Yeezys on. You gotta show them off.
That's like the Hirachis on the bartenders. Sorry, I gotta say that reference. That's like the Hirachis on the bartenders. Yo.
Nah, but it's like what you're saying is so like with players. So like imagine if like a whole Overwatch League team or whatever shows up in a G-Wagon. People aren't going to comprehend like, oh shit, that's the company's G-Wagon. That's
Right.
not the individual player's G-Wagon.
First off, that's never gonna happen because Toyota sponsored the Overwatch League.
All right.
You
well,
saw that they
they sponsored the league, but not the
Wait,
teams.
also you saw that they like now also like Coke even signed on with them. Like Coca-Cola even now signed with the Overwatch League. I'm like, how many sponsorships do you guys need?
Oh, they need a
well,
lot.
well, that's where they're getting that
Yeah.
money from.
There ain't no
Oh,
money
yeah,
in
for-
esports.
for the
They
league
gotta get it from the
structure.
sponsors.
Because
Yeah.
you know Blizzard bleeding out now because they put
True.
all that money.
I don't think Blizzard's bleeding out, actually. Look at how much they charge for the slots. That's money that they're getting back.
Yeah, but
being
the Call of Duty League still charging like $5 million more.
Yeah,
or
but think
whatever.
Okay, so I'm
but
about
think,
to
but
snitch.
think about this though, real quick. They're paying that much. They're paying the developer and the publisher that much to play in their league for a game that they created. Where did Blizzard lose money?
Also, keep
You know-
in
you know
mind.
how much money they put into it.
Let me give y'all some insider information. Since I'm no longer under NDA and I don't give a damn. What's up? In regards to Call of Duty and Overwatch and them being franchised, both of them are owned by Blizzard. So when you pay for a slot in OWL, it's a package deal. You get the Blizzard, or you get the Call of Duty slot as well.
Well,
They come together.
they had what ESPN put out said they have first dibs, but they still got to pay the $25 million.
They already paid it. They paid it as a part of the 50 that they put in for Overwatch. They already paid it. The only thing they have to do now is pay some facility fees, but that doesn't come up to 25 mil. That is true though. They still got to pay some
So it's-
other overhead, but it's
so
all
it's
part
not-
of the package deal.
So it wasn't 20 mil for the slot and then the 20 because what it was a 20 million buy-in for the Overwatch League slots, but apparently with Call of Duty franchise, it was 25 mil for the slot. They still have to pay the 25 mil, but they have the option to pick up
They have
first
first
rosters.
dibs.
25 mil might have been for season 1, but to get a slot into OWL and everything register, you got to pay 50 mil. That's what I'm saying. Like they did that on purpose. They packaged that junk on purpose.
Which again,
Do it like that.
if you're the fucking craft organization, you got that kind of money.
Let me tell you why that's
Speaking
stupid
of-
though.
'cause
Let
we're
me tell you why
Boston.
that's stupid though. Like I'm gonna be all the way real right now. Like what these orgs are doing, and I've seen it, and I've called this out for a long time. This is another reason why I don't like trying to make money in esports. Like it's boring to me. It's all scams right now because it's still in its infancy and no one knows what's going on. But what a lot of these orgs are doing is like they heard something. They heard a murmur like this might be the future, and a lot of people are throwing pennies at it to see what happens right now.
Yeah.
That is what Robert Kraft is doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what everybody's doing. They're just throwing pennies at this thing because it picked up, and a lot of people don't understand how or why it picked up. A lot of people have a strange misconception about what esports and gaming is, and they're just doing dumb crap.
Well, it's the idea of like everyone thinks there's like everyone's got like a plan and like everything's set in motion. This is fucking lies. Everyone's just kind of they're throwing a bunch of ideas at a dartboard, and
For
then,
sure.
like,
It's the
whichever
Wild
one-
West.
Whichever one
sticks
sticks,
the
they're just
best.
like, we're gonna run with this until it stops working, and then we're gonna throw more darts at the board and see
Yeah.
what sticks this time.
Yeah, I don't mind that. There's so many people out there, though, unfortunately, that don't have a plan, and these people are investing to the people who don't have a plan. Like they're just scamming, and it sucks because there are people in there that have a plan for esports and have a direction. It's just right now. Listen, let's real quick. Fortnite. Say something about Fortnite. That is not an esports game. It's just a game. It's a game that is popular. It's a pop culture game. But for some reason, people keep correlating esports with that because of Ninja's background with MLG and all that stuff, and a lot of other people.
Epic has already come out and pretty much like made it clear. Like they don't have to state it, but they've made it clear. Like we're not trying to be competitive. We're trying to
The
get people,
skirmishes are to
everyone
pay
to play
taxes. I can't explain that enough to people. The skirmishes, they make too much money in a month. They're gonna get in trouble. They're gonna get audited. They have to do something with it. They make way too much. I got a homie that built 2 houses because he had to get rid of some money.
So do you think like I'm gonna say focus on the car companies because that's like kind of where we started it.
Yeah.
Do you think like that's what car companies are doing, kind of using it as a payoff, or do you think they're really trying to market toward a younger audience?
A little bit of both. I mean, it depends on the company.
Well,
like,
I think you also have to look at it like majority of your pro players, like what's the age that they're eligible to play. Also, what age are they eligible to drive? Like,
that's part of it. That is one part of it.
We give like cars and shit to our players because now they're of age, and then it inspires like younger gamers. Like, oh shit, when I'm of age, like when I turn 17, 18, whatever, I'm a be a pro gamer.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have a Mercedes.
Yeah,
like,
part of it. I was gonna say that's part one, right? Like I do see a company like Mercedes doing that and pitching to that lifestyle. That makes logical sense. But a company like Toyota, who makes cars that are affordable to that demographic, they are actually trying to sell cars.
I think also at the same token, we're still caught up in the idea that esports can be like regular sports. So it's like yeah, man, what are like regular sports athletes like? And I think that's the mentality sometimes behind those car companies.
That's the scam,
like
yeah.
The luxury thing is like, oh fuck, like our luxury, like we give like our players luxury cars and stuff like that, and like that might work with esports too if we just give players like luxury cars to sell that lifestyle. And
right.
I think it's the idea of like them trying to be like, oh, you can have that lifestyle too.
Right.
Even if you're not an athlete, you're like an esports athlete, but you can still have the same lifestyle.
Companies have been doing that forever.
I think also like we were saying
I think it's gonna fail, but
in one of the previous episodes that you can check out on Spotify or iTunes.
Look at the plug. Oh snap.
You can't that's like sucking your own dick. You can't do that.
My man, he whispered it though. Like you're supposed to hard sell. Go ahead.
Anyway, like we were saying in a previous episode, how like the mainstream is bleeding into, or gaming has become mainstream. I think it's the people that are outside of gaming are now like, all right, what worked in the mainstream? What works in mainstream sports and entertainment? All right, we just need to, if we throw that onto esports, again, it's new, like no one has it figured out. If we just throw it to them, they're going to feed it and like we can manipulate it and make it work for us because it's worked here.
No one can say we're wrong.
Yeah, no one can say like, we can't do that.
I have something to say about that too because I agree. That is the case. The sad part is the wrong people are doing that throwing.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is a lot, right? All right. We, at least people my age, I have no shame saying it. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm 30. Shut up.
You're not 30.
I'm 30.
You're 30. You're 37.
Bro, your walker's right there. No.
All right. I'm a part of that age group where I got to see, I got a chance to see both sides of a certain spectrum. Like, I know what the old, like, and I'm part of that traditional hardworking OG lifestyle before the internet, before computers in a sense, right? Like, they weren't commonplace in, like, the early 90s, late 80s, yada, yada. And the new age where everything's at your fingertips, everything can be questioned. There's really no stability. It's kind of the Wild West right now, and there's a lot of technology involved, right? These old dudes with the hard work ethic, they're trying to, they see this new thing and it's booming and they want to capitalize on it with all of their know-how from back in the day to an audience that doesn't know what the hell these guys are doing. Yeah. And I'm somewhere stuck in the middle. The people that should be running that operation and kind of getting this stuff running is my generation, the people in the middle. Because they understand the work ethic and the mind of the people who can actually build something, which was the OG, the realm and shit like that. And the new folk that just want to go buck wild and play stuff, you can't hard sell to them. Like, it doesn't work with them. You know what I'm saying? And they don't kind of understand that, and it's just frustrating because the old heads don't want to trust the people that are bridging the gap.
Do you think that people that we would consider like OGs within gaming, and they're probably going to hate that I'm about to say this, but do you think that they're afraid, or do you think that it's the people that are coming in with money having so much power over people that are blind, like who've never seen this amount of money before within gaming?
Well, no, I can't say the OGs in gaming are the issue in a sense, but I'm also going to say this. The OGs in gaming are cashing out right now. They're building orgs and selling it. They're the ones, they're collecting their meals and saying, yo, I'm too old for this. I'm peacing out.
Well, I mean, you look at like Optic Gaming with like they got like Houston Outlaws. They have like all their other teams. And shit like that. Like they're just like, all right, I'm just making this, and then I'm just making money off of it. That's it.
Right.
They're doing it. They're not like trying to like push some other agenda. They're just trying to make money.
Right. But and that's an example. They cashed out. There's no forward pushing agenda. They gave it to whatever company investment group owns them now, and they let them run it. Those are some old. I'm not gonna call them baby boomers. They old heads, 50 plus. You know what I'm saying? They did that hard work. They understand how that stuff works. Same with, I just left Splice. Same thing. Overactive Media bought it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They old heads. They don't really know the space. They talk like they know the space, but they just know the old school stuff, and they want to do that stuff. Meanwhile, I'm already cashed out. A lot of people cashed out. Envious, another example. They got all of those teams, which is great. They cashed out, so they're not the issue. The issue is, and it's not a fear. It's a stubbornness. These are people that say, you know, I've been around this many years. I noticed, shit changes. Technology changes. This is not the same era. Things work differently. You got to market and sell stuff differently. They don't understand that. Or rather, maybe they do understand that, but they feel like they could just do it themselves. They don't really want to put somebody in a position of power where they lose that nepotism they might have, unless it's one of their own. And they don't got one because they wasn't raised in that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're throwing money around and acting like they're in control of stuff because they feel like they've seen it before and they're missing the ball. Or they're not even seeing that they're getting scammed right now. They don't see it. So, like, it's not really that. It's just the people that should be in control is the generation in between. And the old heads don't want to give it to them. And the young heads are not ready. They're not prepared to deal with that kind of structure and do something with it yet.
I mean, do you feel like we're like, this is like, it's a balloon and eventually it's going to pop?
Hell yeah.
And then we're going to go back to
That's
like
where
how
I was
esports
actually
was
leading.
Of course it is.
back in the day.
Because, so I was listening to the Business of Esports podcast on my way over here. And a good question that they asked. Hey, look, just because I like to be educated don't make me a nerd. Or actually, does that make you a nerd?
That's probably the definition of a nerd.
Fucking get
Fuck
out.
you guys, man. All right, anyway, they asked the question of, is esports a bubble or is it currently in its booming stage?
I think it's a bubble. I think it's going to keep growing.
I'm with you. I think
Eventually
it's a bubble as well.
Right now, it's a bubble. Now, I'm going to say this because this is what I truly
I think we're
believe.
past the booming, honestly. Not to
I
cut
don't
you
think.
off.
Okay, so I mean, listen, it's gonna go in phases like gaming did. Video games had a crash. Remember?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. There was a bubble and a crash. The same thing's gonna happen with esports. But what I believe is gonna happen is we're getting to the point where the right people that should be winning are starting to win. It's gonna happen. People that actually care about the space, people that may only know this space, and now have the luxury or at least the resources to do some research. And they're gonna want to build something to make something of it. There's gonna be a pioneer in that atmosphere that's gonna do something. Then we're gonna start to see that growing. But right now we're in the bubble phase. It's going hot. It's gonna pop. Then it's gonna really rise.
Well, that's why I said I feel like the boom is essentially over and like it's now the bubble phases because it's like the boom was like when T Squared and them were coming up where
I call it the pre-boom, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Or the initial boom essentially where players are getting on Dr. Pepper and you first start seeing these small people that are like, I'm not making a fuck ton of money from gaming, but there's money to be made here.
And these dudes is robbing them too. Those sponsors are robbing them too because they don't know their worth.
Yeah.
But nobody knows because they don't know the space.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like that's where the boom, and like you said, the people that are now in the middle kind of area have now learned and they're like, oh, okay. So like when the bubble pops, they'll know what to do and how to handle the situation. But everyone else, and investors included, are going to be like, oh, fuck, we lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I was watching something and they were talking about Coca-Cola and how they spend their advertising money. And apparently there's no like structure to it. Like apparently no one oversees like where certain money goes. So like I forgot what they were asking them about the investment was, but it was pretty much like, how much money did Coca-Cola put into this? And they were like 50,000. And they were like, but no one at the company asked about, hey, where did this 50,000 go? They were like, no. And I feel like that's what's happening with a lot of gaming stuff. Again, with Nissan signing with FaZe, Cloud9 signing with Mercedes or BMW. Those companies are just like, here's 100,000. Here's a car.
It's the idea of like it's like someone walks into a room. They're like, "Hey man, you want to do this thing real quick?" Yeah, that sounds cool. And then like 3 months later, they're like, "Yo, where did all that money go? Oh, we put in that thing.
Right.
Oh yeah, how's that doing? I don't know.
I'm a snitch on myself. That's how I got paid. Like Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's what
They were just like-
all them nice ass cars. People was throwing money and didn't know where. But I will tell you this from experience: a lot of companies do not know what they are selling, or what they're buying. They don't know either one. They don't know what they're buying or selling.
Yeah. This is actually a good. We brought this up like episode 1. What do you, in your opinion, you've worked in esports, you've worked organizations,
I don't know why.
You've done it all at this point. How do you feel? What is the
I'm
end
gonna kick
game
him off
for
the
a lot
esports
of these?
podcast.
Let's just say for now, what is in your opinion? What's the end game for streamers? Where do you see them being? Let's just say
a streamer retirement.
I can't answer that question as the average streamer because I thought way beyond that personally. But that's funny that y'all brought that up because I asked that question on Twitter. A lot of these streamers think that they're gonna get partnered, and then all of a sudden they're gonna generate revenue. For some reason, they think they're gonna be young forever or good at video games forever.
Or entertaining.
And they don't realize that the only thing keeping them afloat is the survivability of Twitch. If Twitch dies, where do they go next?
Mixer.
Funny, right.
But
see how people are depending on streaming to keep themselves alive?
How many streaming platforms are you going to have before you're like, I got to find my own thing?
How long are they going to realize that their dependency on surviving is a streaming app?
Hey man, let's just not forget Chatterbait's a thing, okay? They can always go.
And they're doing that too.
Get the fuck out.
They're doing that too. You was the one that put me onto that nasty. What's that crap you put me onto?
Oh no! There's a subreddit for like streamers.
You know how many of my I had to scrub my stuff because I seen way too many of my friends on there. But it proved the point I was trying to make. A lot of these guys don't have an immediate game plan.
I mean, it's the idea of like when you got girls who are like, yeah, buy my private Snapchat and shit. Like, how long can you make that go for?
At some point, your titty's gonna be wrinkly. I'm gonna keep it real.
Or until the IRS get them. The IRS are coming for them.
Someone's gonna snitch on them.
No, they pay their taxes.
No.
I'm defending sex workers.
No.
A lot of them do their shit.
No, you can defend sex workers. I'm talking about Twitch streamers.
Are you a sex worker if you're only, like, people are only paying for your Snapchat?
Technically, yeah, you're selling sexual content.
Besides that point, because y'all get relaxed. All right, relax. Okay, so
yeah,
no, so
I was curious.
So let me tell. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with what my game plan was, because I am a Twitch partner, but I never saw that as an initial source of income. At this point, I'm just using it because my girlfriend likes to go shopping now. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to get into a new outfit or something. Fam, I don't want to depend on any one source for income.
You just can't. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. If it dies, you die.
Yeah.
I like streaming. It's a lot of fun. But if you don't expand within that realm and create something different, it's not going to last from you. For what I do personally, I've always been a fan of producing and directing. I've always wanted to start a media group and a media company. You've known me the longest in this room. So you second, you third. But if there's one thing we all have in common, that you all have in common in what I say, I always keep saying, I want my own TV show. I want my own production. I want that. The reason being, at some point, the age group, like we're fortunate because, like I said, I'm at the tail end. Like I'm still young enough to be hip with everybody else.
But you get the senior citizen discount at the movie theater?
For sure. Big facts, right? Like I get a chance to kind of indulge in both. So I get that luxury of still being that good gamer and still being able to, but I also get to think like an old head. So when I tell them like, you might want to look into producer roles, maybe. Like I love the fact that these YouTubers and Vine people nowadays, they're getting on TV shows. Freaking Superwoman is now about to host.
She's the first non-white, heterosexual woman who has her own late night talk show. That's amazing.
That's dope. And a lot of these streamers, I'm hoping come to that realization soon. But right now they're not there. So to answer your question, what they're doing, this for them is the end. Get the partner button. Get a lot of people subbing and just play games all day.
I mean, how do you feel about how you feel about Ninja like starting his own like clothing brand? Well, sort of.
But
like
let me be clear for a second. Shout outs to Jessica. Jess is my homegirl. I actually wouldn't even be popping if it wasn't for a lot of them, including Jess. I'm gonna just keep that a buck. I met Jessica, Jay Ghosty. That's the homie. She early in the game had something to say about having an advisor. I love what Ninja and the rest of them are doing because as soon as they got on, Jess was the first one to make phone calls and seek advisors. What can I do with all of this money? What can we do with this impact that we have now? How can we transition it? How can we keep this revenue flowing and bring it in from different places? You don't always have to play Fortnite.
You know, now that you brought that up, though, I just thought about it. The clothing thing can only last, or the merchandising can only last but so long.
Yes,
because I feel like with the fame of streaming, when that dies out,
but
they're not going to want to buy your product.
Turn it into something else besides that starts branching off from just gaming and stuff. If you could turn it into a lifestyle brand, like imagine if like Levi Jeans like started off as like some fucking little project company for like some random dude, and it's like, and it was just like a side shit. Or he used to do something, and then he was like, "Hey, buy my jeans, they're Levi's." And then suddenly like he dropped the gaming shit or whatever, and all of a sudden it's like, I just own Levi jeans. If you could transition that into something, I think it would be it's a plausible thing.
Like, I think Red Bull is going to allow him to do that.
See, but he's different because we're talking about the average streamer, right? So their idea of merchandising is, I have to do this to get more viewers. Yeah. It's not it's not like Nate Shaw with 100 Thieves. I want to be a streetwear clothing brand. And then also branch into esports. Everyone else is doing it because they see
they need it.
It's the initial platform.
Or a sign of like sustainability. Like, oh, if I sell a shirt, then I can continue to live, versus I want to like make merchandise and clothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And like be passionate about it.
I mean, like Meta used to be just like, well, like jerseys and shit. Now they have like lifestyle clothing brands and shit.
You have to.
Like you go by their booth right now at PAX East, which by the way, we're at Boston. Shout out.
Hey.
And you
people can't drive out here.
And you go out to and you go to their booth, and it's like half their shit isn't even like, I'm like 2 years ago they were selling like jerseys and shit. Yeah. This year it's like lifestyle clothing and like parkas and like windbreakers and shit. Which by the way, Meta, send me some shit.
Meta owed me a backpack.
I wish.
But we ain't gonna talk about that. So I will say this, I agree with you. First off, let's get two things straight. Number one, there's too niche of an audiences to sell jerseys. And number two, jerseys look ugly in esports. They trash. All of them. All of them.
They're paintball jerseys.
They suck.
First off,
I don't care.
I find that really offensive.
Trash.
Because I just bought a Guangzhou Spark jersey and it's pink and blue.
Burn it. Well, it's pink and blue, so that's fuego. But I don't like I don't like the design of the actual shirt itself. I don't like it. Just looks,
it's a sports jersey.
Awkwardly cliche. It looks generic in a sense. It doesn't look stylish like a soccer jersey. Those look stylish. There was a point in time where basketball jerseys looked stylish. There was a style to it. And even then, like NBA.
Tell us about the late 80s.
All right. I'm throwing one of y'all.
He gonna kick your ass.
One of y'all get thrown. Like, I still work out, you know what I'm saying? I gain weight, but there's a little muscle here. I'll throw you, boy. All right. So, but no, like
esports jerseys are like bowling jerseys. There's no style.
There's no style.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You would definitely rock a bowling button up.
He has
I had a jersey. I had my
He used to
school
play.
jersey.
He used to bowl.
I bowled in the league, and like it wasn't stylish. It wasn't.
But were you there to be stylish, or were you there to bowl?
I was there to bowl, but then again, we still had to like.
But that still goes to my point with what I was saying in regards to like selling clothing. That's a niche audience that's there to game.
And I know, in all honesty, I think a lot of the people who are coming into gaming from streetwear and like shoe heads are only coming in because gaming is popular.
There's a lifestyle there, though. That's why I'm glad I see him at stuff like ComplexCon now.
See what?
Gaming.
Yeah, but
brands.
I think people are. I think the gaming lifestyle. There's a vision of gaming lifestyle that's being forced. It wasn't like it's not genuine.
I mean, it's you really want the original genuine like
the sweaty nerd. Say it, the sweaty nerd.
You really want people being like.
No, I'm not saying that's what I want, but
we're all trying to.
That's what it is.
That's why everyone's trying to transition and make it no longer about like the sweaty dudes and be like, oh no, we're not that anymore. And it's like you got to be okay with being that.
Hey yo,
before you're okay with being other things.
Hey yo, brands, check this out.
No, be okay with your.
Check
roots.
this out. We in Boston right now. If you a brand out there, Google PAX. Penny Arcade Expo. Just look at pictures and you're going to be shocked to find out how many people look like the thing that you used to pick on back in the day. That's the majority. And there's way more of those out there than people that look like me. So you marketing to the wrong person. Like, I mean, look, I'm cool and I can sell the lifestyle, but my objective is always to connect people to the sweaty stank nerd. I know what it's like to play and fucking I smell like shorty shit staying on the couch because I really want to speed run Final Fantasy 9. I know what that's about. You know what I'm saying? That's the gamer that really exists as compared to the one that y'all think happens is the one that plays Fortnite on their phone and does the shoot dance outside. First off, you said outside. Then not a lot of them go outside.
It's like what you were saying, I think the first episode where you were like,
Real talk.
fuck. What did you say on the first episode?
I said a lot of shit.
He gonna take it. They gonna get back to him.
Yeah, I can't.
No, but like that's the thing. Like if you listen, like I dress nice now. I dress like whatever.
We got money now.
Like
That's what it was. It was.
Like,
It was
I'm all about that now. But guess what? When I was fucking like 15 years old, I was staying up till 6 in the morning. I haven't showered in 24 hours because I was trying to beat Legend of Dragoon.
Fam,
for like
I still do that,
Like,
and I have a little bit of sex appeal now.
No, and
I still do it.
No, that's what you were saying in the first episode.
When I'm off, and like I'll be like, someone come in my room. They're like, "When was the last time you ate?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know."
No,
I'm wearing a 5XL shirt that used to be mad tight on me, but now it fucking looks like a fucking blanket. But like, still, I'm wearing that shit. I haven't showered in like a day or so.
Right.
Like fucking, I'm still that.
That's what you were saying on the first episode. You were saying that the image of gamers are changing, but people think that it's like, oh, instead of it changing for, hey, you should shower, you should make yourself appealing, or just take care of your cleanliness. Everyone's like, it's going above and beyond. It's like, I have to fucking have Yeezys. I have to be like into clothing. If I don't have this shit, then I'm not a gamer. It's like,
I got
what?
nothing wrong with like being okay with hygiene and stuff like that. Like, yeah, do that. So what? You a little overweight. I don't give a fuck. But at the same time, it's like you don't have to be. You don't gotta transition and be like a superstar and like dress like that and like wear the Yeezys and like wear like the fucking expensive ass bomber.
True.
As I'm wearing one. Yeah, I feel like an asshole. But like that's my own style. But like you don't have to do that to be a gamer. And the problem is now like you got all these people being like, well, that's the gamer I want. What if he's not a real gamer? What if he's just for some asshole who never fucking touched a game in his life? I'm gonna make
a point after Honzo says what he has to say. That goes to what you were about to say.
You don't have to copy somebody else's style to make it yours. Just be your own style. My style is just anything airsoft related, anything gun related, anything gaming related. I swear.
So to that point, I want to make this clear because a lot of people have an odd depiction of what's really happening. The stuff that's being created isn't stuff that's marketed to gaming. It's stuff that's marketed to pop culture. Once you identify that, you don't get mad anymore. Period. With anything. With everything. As a matter of fact.
No, I'm gonna get mad.
Well, okay, no. So, all right.
True.
So, no, people will get mad because they feel like they're being infiltrated, and that's exactly what's happening. But I just want to make this clear. Besides the fact that this is a phase, the real ones know.
Yeah. Well,
the real ones know.
This is a point I'm about to make, and it's gonna sound kind of fucked up, but like,
I'm here to mooch off the pop culture. I'm here to rob them.
But like pop culture shit, stuff that's made for pop culture and shit like that. What's and it's gonna sound kind of fucked up, but like, what's the biggest size that you got?
Pop culture?
Yeah, for like pop culture shit, like like these companies and stuff. If they were really about marketing to people, if they were really about marketing for people like that, they would like be inclusive. For
they're not.
everyone.
Well, I mean, I'll say
that's why we have outrage marketing now.
Yeah, I mean, like you could look at like right now, like look at Uniqlo. Uniqlo's doing a collab with like
Street Fighter.
I was gonna say with Gundam,
yeah,
but like
you
go to their store.
Sesame Street.
What's the biggest size they got? Maybe a large. Probably a medium.
The only thing I buy at Uniqlo,
it's not inclusive at all.
For sure. The only thing I buy at Uniqlo is those. I got it on right now. The thermal joints, the thermal shirts. That's all I got. That's all I ever get.
We're not sponsored by them yet, so.
Oh my bad.
He said yet.
Hey, you never know.
So I'm gonna just make fake names like Undercook. All right, the only thing I got from Undercook is this shirt, bro.
No, I don't give a shit.
So
but, that's what I'm saying. If you were really like trying to be about gaming culture and about just like the lifestyle and nerdy culture, you would be inclusive. And that's the way I look at it.
Well, ironically enough, I'm gonna just say this real quick and I'll let you speak. Yo, ironically enough, I gotta emphasize this enough. Gaming in a sense didn't grow. Pop culture just got attached to gaming temporarily. So please understand that. That's why I keep saying go to PAX. Or an event like PAX, so you can really see who the gamers are. Because pop culture's not at PAX. Some Twitch streamers are because they want to act cool. And that's a really tiny audience. Like they're pandering to each other.
Yeah, it's just.
But if you look at the common person that you're gonna bump shoulders with those tens of thousands of people at PAX don't look like the people that are being marketed towards in this esports / whatever realm. That's why I'm not a big fan of it. Like I'm a fan of like gaming and stuff as a sweaty nerd. But as a person that sees what's going on in pop culture, I don't give a damn about that because I know what that is. That's not what we know. It's just not. It's something completely different. And I can relate because I look like the pop culture thing, but I know where I came from. Straight up. That just happened because I got tired of my titties. I had to get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? They back now. Don't look. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's it.
Oh, they was calling you talking for real.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up.
How bigger than you? Well, not as tall, but you know what I'm saying? I was a planet. All right, next topic. Go ahead.
Okay.
Face.
So, with all that being said, do y'all think GameStop are sellouts because of what they're doing? Which is, they recently partnered with Complexity to build a performance center. They recently partnered with Team Envy and Dallas Fuel to build gaming clinics.
Well, fucking
No.
Motherfucker, we ain't sick. I know that's not what, like,
Well, you
He's
also got
sick.
like Fusion, like Philadelphia Fusion's making like an arena called Fusion Arena and shit like that.
but that's different. That's the org building that. We're talking about
No, but they're doing it. But
GameStop.
they're also like they're teaming up with other people to build it.
To answer your question.
Yeah, but I mean,
Do we really need an arena for like?
what I'm
like,
saying
I know
is,
we got the Blizzard Arena, but do
we
we
don't
need
need-
like?
Let me tell you something
Arenas
straight up.
everywhere.
We don't need any of that crap. All of this is an objective to bleed the people who don't know the space. I keep saying that. Well, that's what I believe. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But all of that is fam, none of these gaming genuinely is not big enough for this league to need. First off, how are you gonna find the funds for that to fly? Like NBA generates a ton. I'm bringing up
that's what we
like
talked about
traditional sport.
on the previous
They
episode.
generate tons of money so they can afford to have a local team and all of these resources in their team and get a city to support them. The impact there is big enough. It's not big enough for Overwatch. Overwatch is it just doesn't, and that's not gonna happen until Overwatch is a game that can be watched. First off, I can follow it.
Like shows after the games where we're talking analytical talks about players, how they're doing,
And that's
But
still over a lot of people's heads.
But you could follow. You know what it is? You could follow Overwatch because you're a gamer, and you
Right.
play. It's not like an average person could walk to a Yankees game and be like, "I don't fucking follow sports," but at least they kind of know what's happening.
Right.
They at least know Team A is beating whatever.
Same with football.
Yeah,
You
can
don't have
follow,
to know
be
the players. You just know when somebody's about to throw the ball, someone's gonna catch the. There's a start, a middle, and a finish.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to follow. You can't do that in Overwatch. But to get back to your point, GameStop building all those things. I don't think that's selling out because GameStop has a business to run.
I think sellout was the wrong. I think I used the wrong word. I don't think I should have used sellout. I think I should have used the word trying or the wording of trying to survive.
Well,
Because people aren't.
like
A lot of people aren't physically going to buy games anymore.
like sustainability.
Yeah, like GameStop has been dead for a minute. Like
true.
people,
You only go there for Funko Pops now.
Yeah, people,
you're right. Yo, you're right. I just thought about
We
that.
used to have the merch stores, but didn't keep.
The last time I went to GameStop, I bought cereal, bro. I'm
Yeah,
trash, yo. What am I doing?
Did you buy Lucio's?
No, the Cuphead joints.
Yeah.
oh my
The
god.
black
First off,
one.
I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
Lucio's are fucking delicious.
They dope. I had them at we had where we at? We had some.
TwitchCon, I feel like.
TwitchCon, yes. Yes.
Because my roommate got a whole box of them, and like every now and then I just go and I'm like, let me get a handful of those Lucio's, and he's like, I'm like, these are mad good.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to
But-
Lucio's.
It's outside of the collectible stuff like that. People aren't waking up going to GameStop to buy games.
no,
They're
you don't go to
ordering it through
GameStop.
Amazon or
GameStop
digitally
is not even
download.
Part of GameStop is ThinkGeek, even though they're both
Yeah.
under the same like parent.
Yeah.
There might be I was gonna say it might be a partnership or that, like what you
So
just said.
so do
Yeah.
you think even though it's gaming as a whole that's blown up, but with this weird focus of esports is what sells them, do you think that GameStop is like, oh snap, we've been dying, we need to reach out to this to kind of get our footing back within the gaming world?
I feel like you'll have a tried and true answer to that question once you see them either partner up or sell themselves to somebody like Amazon.
Yeah.
Which I think is coming next.
So they might get bought up.
I genuinely believe there's going to be a point in time where people aren't going out to buy consoles anymore. Like that's the only thing really keeping them afloat. They have some
like,
physicals to sell.
I mean, how?
Try it again.
Where'd you get what was the last console? Where'd you get it? Did you buy it at a GameStop?
No.
Did you buy it? Did you just order it?
I
I
ordered
ordered
it.
my Switch off Amazon.
I ordered my
laptop off Amazon. Yeah.
Actually, the last one I bought was the Xbox One, and I bought it at GameStop because I was working there. That was the only reason I got it.
right.
A bought a PS4 at Best Buy. My PC parts come from. Well, my case came from Amazon.
Well, I'm ratchet, so I bought mine from.
You better not say Tiger Direct.
No, that's disgusting, actually.
Micro sense.
And it's what is it called now? It's called Rakuten. Anyway, yeah,
disgusting.
Rakuten. No, I didn't buy it from there. No, I got it from Best Buy because I needed to get a TV to go with it.
I mean, also if you think about it, also, GameStop. The problem is that GameStop back in the day was the place to go.
For sure.
You want a shit, you go. But now you got places like Best Buy and like even fucking
it's
Target.
like-
You could go anywhere now and get shit that GameStop has, but also you could get more. That's the problem.
Yeah, they think
And
those
then-
exclusives is gonna like.
And then
hold them
GameStop
over.
tried. They'd be like, "Oh, you could get a used iPod here too." The motherfucker could go get a new iPod for the same price at Best Buy,
For sure.
and it comes with a $50 iTunes
sure.
gift card.
for
And
sure.
insurance.
I don't think it was just the fact that like you could buy other stuff though that's surrounding it. I think it was more of the like digital downloads. I think once that popped up, that's what like
Well, and I think also the idea of like every major gaming system now having like an online store where like you pay and you get free
Yeah.
games and you
Yeah,
like
it's not like
you got the
before where
Xbox
we
monthly
had to-
pass where you get free games every month.
Right.
You got the PS4 shit where you get free games every month, and like that kills like, and it's the
Brick and
idea of
mortar places.
it's the
Yeah.
idea of also when Amazon was killing brick and mortar stores. It's like you
Still
can get
is,
you can
yeah.
get Nanny and Poppy shit, or you just get free 2-day Amazon Prime. You get the same shit.
Right.
so with GameStop like trying to invest in esports, partnering with Complexity and like Team MVS, are we gonna see a transition of GameStop being from we just sell games to now we sell all your esports, we sell jerseys, we sell like how you guys were saying, like you go there for the collectibles and the merchandise.
I think they're gonna try.
You're gonna
that
try
falls
it.
along the lines of the collectibles and the merchandise. in my
Because-
Yeah,
opinion.
I think they're gonna try, and I definitely think they're gonna. I think they're gonna backscale their game stuff.
Well, they already, even though
Very-
this makes no
They're
sense.
just gonna drop their game. They're gonna drop GameStop game from GameStop. It's just called Stop.
Well,
It's like
apparently,
Dunkin'
They're
dropping
just
Dunkin'
gonna call it
Donuts.
Stop now.
apparently GameStop has planned on stop selling digital codes.
No.
No. Like no, it was like a news. Like they're gonna stop selling the digital. Or excuse me, Sony is no longer gonna be sending GameStop digital
Digital codes.
like codes for
Well,
the
because
game.
they
So-
have their own market now.
and my thing is just like,
Their own store. Why? Like,
why were y'all even still wasting money to print cards to send them
Yeah.
digital games?
I mean, they wanted the option available, but I mean,
never-
that's a good sign of the times. If PlayStation is saying we don't need GameStop, that means chances are people aren't really going to GameStop. And again, the only thing GameStop has to offer is GameStop exclusives.
Well, back
with
in
games.
back in the day, this is how these companies got their shit across. Is through GameStop. Through
Yeah.
if you remember Funko Land,
Remember Funko Land?
Fuck
Which is
it.
GameStop.
which became GameStop.
I just realized that
EB Games, which became GameStop.
I've been traveling in and out of Canada. Canada doesn't really have a GameStop. Well, they do,
They
but
got
they
Funko.
still call it Funko Land.
They
It
got
blew
Funko
my
Land.
mind. I was like, oh snap, y'all got Funko Land.
And they
I
got
thought
like
those were
the,
dead.
they still got like the wild like 90s graphic for Funko Land. And
Yeah.
you go and be like, what the fuck?
That felt
And you
good.
think
I was
it's
like, yo,
gonna-
y'all got bad bitches too? What's
You
poppin'?
think it's gonna be
I
like
just aged
ancient as
myself.
shit?
I thought
You walk in
went
off
for
this is
games.
GameStop and you're like,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
was hyped.
GameStop with a different name.
I was
You're
like, yo, y'all got Radio Shacks?
No.
Boy,
You guys got the Wiz?
Circuit City? You got Circuit
Dog.
City.
You remember the Wiz in
all right,
Circuit
y'all
City?
doing way too much reminiscing. So, pretty much, GameStop is either what gonna die or turn into the brick and mortar for esports jerseys.
They're gonna die. Even if they turn into a brick and mortar for
Because then
esports jerseys,
eventually,
they're
like,
gonna die.
Amazon's going to be like, hey, we got that shit too.
They're gonna. I don't think they'll. They may file for bankruptcy, but I feel like they'll sell before they do that. I don't know who they would sell
Who's
to.
gonna buy them?
I don't know.
Amazon.
That's what I'm saying.
I think Amazon will.
Amazon buy everybody. Just like Disney.
What
buys
if what if Amazon buys them and turns them into the Amazon stores, like how they did the thing where you can just walk in, grab something, and walk
That
out, and they'll
literally
charge you
would
every
not
time you
surprise
come.
me.
Or like Amazon, how they bought Borders, and now you go and like every Borders in
Oh,
New
yeah,
York
yeah,
City
yeah.
is now it's like literally Amazon Books.
Yeah.
Which by the
But
way,
okay,
shout out
see,
to Amazon Books.
my
I love you.
question is what would they really be buying? And this is what I see. I always pay attention to stuff like this. They wouldn't be buying GameStop for GameStop's business model and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah, they're gonna change it.
For sure. They would be buying GameStop for they want that mailing list.
Yes, because
If they buy it, they want the mailing list because they have a guaranteed idea of the type of people they can market stuff like Twitch to.
Well, yeah, you take all those power. It's like, hey, it's like all these power up rewards people. You'd be like, hey, listen, I know we bought out GameStop, and you don't really have power up rewards one. But now you got our shit,
Right,
like,
easily
Yeah,
just
it's usually-
pound them with that.
Yeah, because
For sure.
GameStop employees have to upsell subscriptions.
And most of them do.
And they,
There's a ton of them. There's a lot of them.
and
But
here's
now
why
you
it's such a big mailing list.
you have a
I hated
dedicated
that
list.
You got a GameStop power up card?
Sure, you
No,
know that.
you want one?
I hated
I'm
that
good.
shit.
Are you sure? No, I'm really good. Buy the fucking power up card. Fine, I'll buy the power up card. Like
You
that.
want to subscribe to Game Informer?
I'll let you know right now. When I was working there for the week that I worked there, I didn't do that. I hated that because I don't like trying to sell something to someone who
Who doesn't want it?
exactly. It's like you're like a parent is like literally in the store. Like I'm literally in here to buy Call of Duty because this little thing wouldn't shut up. I don't care about your credit card. I don't care about this. Like give me my game and walk like so I can leave.
Yeah. Do they and I'm assuming they didn't give you commissions for any of them upsells.
I don't remember getting a commission for
Right.
nothing.
No, that's what I assume. That's what I assume.
It was a requirement.
That's what I assume. No, I mean like that's why I like Circuit City because some of that stuff you sell it, you get a commission for it. Like you upsell something, you get a commission.
Fucking remember Circuit City, man?
That's
All
depressing,
right,
innit?
you remember
Yo,
this
My bad, I
again.
did it again.
They had
Y'all
the
starting
fucking
to
song.
reminisce
I
again.
think you're just what I needed.
So
You remember? Don't even.
all right, so I'm gonna move on to the next topic.
So
I'm talking about GameStop potentially getting bought out. Drake invested into Gamers Lounge. Are you familiar with what that is?
fill me in.
Gamers Lounge is essentially MLG, but not MLG. They have places where you can play online tournaments and offline tournaments,
Okay.
like what MLG used to do with game battles, and then going to game battles. He was in the initial investing seed funding, so essentially like the Series A funding for it. That's the second time that he's now put money into something around esports and gaming. The first was 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying it's like a physical place that people can go?
I don't know if it's a physical like building location, but they do serve a purpose of like showing up to places and hosting events.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, the past 2 years, like land places have like popped up out of nowhere. Like New York
Like in
Excelsior
Walmart.
did their pop up, their land pop
They
up.
gonna rob these little kids for
Yeah,
places
and
to practice
Walmart.
their Fortnite.
But then,
yeah.
but I was gonna say, if you think about it, like it's kind of expensive.
For
Like,
sure.
there was,
Yeah,
like, a
esports
kid-
arena in
a
Vegas
kid-
is what like $50 or
A
something.
kid would go for like
3 hours.
he would go to this. I remember because I would always go and chill. We'd always like my friends would be like, "Yo, let's go." He would spend like $100 every Friday. Imagine that times like 20 kids, 30 kids, 100 kids.
Wait, but was this at one of the newers or was this like a like what like the land centers that we're used to where people like smoking inside and
Well, it was the New York Excelsior one like had like a merch shop, and then they also had,
Oh, he
like, a
spent this
land
at
section.
the Excelsior
Yeah,
land
yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Oh, okay, so it was a new like the new age
Yeah,
price
the new age one.
land center. I
Where
thought you were talking
spending
about the
mad
old one.
money. No, you mean like a PC bong where it was like you spend like $2 an hour and you're
Yeah,
like,
that's what I thought you were talking about for a
and
second.
then you
I'm
can
like,
pass
that's
out
nothing.
and whatever.
I couldn't justify that unless I was like, I do appreciate the esports arena in Vegas for allowing you to pay $20 an hour and you can stream.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
dope.
also,
That's dope if you're a partner or
Like
you're
shout out,
somebody.
shout out to Waypoint Cafe. They let you, they got a streaming room. It's like you could pay and you could stream for a couple hours.
I think that's dope.
I think it's good for those type of people who need to get there, who don't have the money or the revenue yet to like have their own setup, or they just don't have good enough internet. They could have a great
Right.
setup, but like
I think it's dope in that sense, but when you're charging everyone that same price to not do that same thing, that's when it's kind of like
No, it's $10 just to play, but
Oh,
the
it's 10
streaming station
okay.
is
I
20.
seen
Yeah, it's
some-
$10 an hour. And
I saw some nuts out.
And let me
like,
say, the reason why I love the reason why I like Esports Arena, I think it's a slick little deal because let's really talk about it. Vegas is a place for adults. And some
Yeah.
people got some chatty, bratty kids, and boy, one thing that's a blessing is the existence of Fortnite. You mean I get to pay $10 and I could ditch my child? He's not going nowhere because there's nothing else he wants to do but play Fortnite. You know where you can find that kid. $18 for 2 hours? That's not bad. To ditch a child?
Did you try the fucking
Because that reason it was funny thing we talking about GameStop, and you said it yourself, man. The only reason why people went in there was to buy a babysitter for $60, which was Call of Duty. Wonderful. I mean, maybe you're
Or-
in Vegas and you gotta take them bratty kids. $20 and ditch them for 2 hours?
yeah, or like you just like going into GameStop, a kid goes in there, he's not coming out for like an hour.
Right. And let
So-
them make a come up in the casino, fam. They're going right back in and drop another 50. Say, no, play more Fortnite.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Play old game.
Go ahead.
But I'm thinking about like the person that is like where their PC bongs or whatever are getting shut down just because the money's not there anymore.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And now everyone's like, "Oh, I'm going to the esports arena," but like, you're now paying almost triple the price of what you were paying of $2 for an hour.
Yeah,
but you're now paying like
at,
$15,
like,
$20 for an hour. Like,
I used to go there and play fucking Counter-Strike. Doesn't have PC.
The overhead is ridiculous, but I
but
forgot what the question was.
Do you think those numbers are inflated for like esports arena because these numbers that are popping up, like, oh, gamers have this amount, the average gamer has this amount of money?
I couldn't say. I'd have to do my homework about that.
I think it goes back to the idea of like, again, since we're going, not to bring it up again, but like the streetwear gaming clothes, like the alt, like did a collaboration. Like I think they're so expensive now, and I think those more expensive brands will come out is because you have all this research coming out. Like the average gamer makes this much a year, so like you got these people being like, oh shit, yeah.
No, they don't.
No.
Yo, I hate those
Like,
reports. They don't
but
make
I'm just
that.
saying, you got these people coming out of nowhere, like being like the average gamer makes like $80,000 a year.
Dear everybody.
And it's like,
doesn't make that
it's
much.
like the average gamer doesn't have a job.
Dear everybody, the average gamer is broke as hell. Or and you know what? I'm gonna be super specific too, because this is like fun to do. The average streamer is broke as hell. A lot of people pay way too much attention to the people who are partnered, which is still a small group out of the amount of people that stream. You know how many people fire up their streams, play for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, and have 0 viewers? There's a lot of them.
Shout out to those guys, by the way.
I'm stunting, yo. I got 6.
People forget.
I got 6 viewers. I'm a partner. I got 6 viewers, bruh. I'm doing alright. But let me tell you, my source of income don't come from no damn streaming. That's a very small group. So I don't know why they do inflate those prices. But I will say this. There's one thing we got to keep track of is the overhead. How much does it cost to upkeep all of that stuff? Yeah. That's really what that's where
that part I get. The upkeep part I get.
Yeah, that's where the pricing comes from. And the locations they're putting them in aren't really prime either. I'm still confused about that. Like the esports arena all right, so let me add to this as well. I don't feel like a bulk of their income comes, with the exception of no, I can't even make them an exception. And I'm only speaking on esports arena. The bulk of their income doesn't come from people coming in and playing on their systems. It comes from events.
Yep.
People buy the space because it's a set up, well-established space for events, and here and there they could what's it called? Get people to come in and play here and there on their downtime, because there's not a lot of events. It's only on the weekends. Right? But from that Monday through Friday, while they're up, they can still nickel and dime here and there and get some people to come in and do something for sure. Yeah. For sure. That's it. That's how I see it. So I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with the future of that, but so long as esports and that pop culture thing is around, or at least I'm gonna just say it like this: so long as Fortnite is doing all right, I think you're gonna get people popping up.
So, kind of back to the GameStop thing real quick. So the thing that kind of I can't wrap my head around, right? So GameStop is partnering with Esports.org to create like gaming facilities, which I'm assuming are gonna be the new PC Bong Esports Arena type thing, right? But the purpose of them are to essentially be like a breeding ground for new talents. I'm assuming they're gonna charge these kids to get in and come play. Like, it's not gonna be free.
For sure.
I mean, and again, it's not to compare it to like traditional sports. It's like, where do you get your players from? For like professional football, but for college football, you go down to like high school shit, and you're like, yo, that kid, he plays really good. We should recruit
you
him
had
for
to
our
why.
team. And it's gonna be the same thing. Again, it's using an old model to try to make new people. So you're gonna have like coaches from organizations coming to these like gaming clinics or performance centers, whatever, and being like, oh yeah, that guy's been playing good all day. Like, let's talk to him. Let's keep watching him. And then like, let's breed him. And then let's just be like, hey kid, you want money? Let's give you the breadcrumbs so you come to us. And again, it's an old model it's an old model that you're using in a new world. And again, it's gonna work because that shit does work, but
part of it works.
It's not gonna be
for
sustainable because it's the idea of back in the day, like with YouTubers, when YouTubing partnership, all that shit first came out, they were like, oh shit, we're gonna use these old methods of breadcrumbs, and then like these YouTubers like, yeah, let me get money, and then it popped off, and then suddenly like, I think that big YouTube bubble ended up popping because finally you had these YouTubers being like, why the fuck am I doing this? I could totally make more money if I go off on my own and do my own shit.
Yeah, like when a lot of people like just cut ties with Machinima. That was one of the big ones.
Machinima did it. Freaking
Dude, I forgot Machinima was a
TGN
fucking
did
thing.
it.
And I think that's what's
Makers
gonna happen.
did it.
You're gonna have it's the same principle where it's like you're trying to use this old, outdated method that is not gonna work in an internet age, and then finally you gotta get these kids like after years of like getting like kind of money and thinking they got the shit, all of a sudden like they're gonna get a wake up call and they're gonna be like, I'm not really making any money.
This is non sequitur, but I gotta say this because now's the perfect time to say this. Any new gamers coming in, especially now, like I'm not, like they're way more aware now, but this is still the Wild West. So be aware of the awkward and weird looking contracts. A lot of people are really hyped to have an opportunity to play video games for a living. It sounds wonderful. And I can tell you, especially the transitioning generation, the one that I was talking about, see, you got to find the good people in it because they're the ones that know the old school business, like you said, Henry, and are paying attention to all of the young kids that just don't know any better. So they're gathering all the really good players, talking about all of this stuff, making these BS orgs, and then putting some cockamamie contract involved. This is the reason why Empire Arcadia got a lot of issues way back in the day, because there was no org. That was like the original FGC org, right? All of the really great players were there, and Triforce was running it. What did them contracts look like? Wasn't the best, but a lot of orgs have been popping up and doing that. They build something, got all these great players, and they're signing some bogus contract that wasn't even notarized. Yeah. But they don't know that because they don't know the business. Yeah. And then they sell them.
Well, it's the idea.
And cash out.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and like I was like making jokes about it and shit like that. But she was like, you gotta get a lawyer if you're trying to get involved in anything. Get a lawyer. Yeah, and like, I was bullshitting. I was like, I was like, this girl saying get a fucking lawyer. But then like, in all seriousness, get a fucking lawyer.
But that's
you would get a lawyer if you were signing a contract. If you were like, if you're like a recording artist and someone was like. Yeah. But check this contract. You would get a lawyer. But why not get a lawyer for esports?
But check this out. The reason why they can't afford it. That's exactly why they get trapped. They don't. First off, you have to know that, number one. But number two, even if you know that, you're still a sweaty nerd gamer. Yeah, I'm just making up the stereotypes to be funny. But you don't. Probably you spend a lot of time gaming. You probably don't have the resources to afford a lawyer to read over a contract. It ain't much, but you ain't got it.
I think those are starting to like. I think his name is Bryce Blum. He's an esports lawyer. Mm-hmm. I think him.
Shout out to my man Ultra David. He's one too.
That name is familiar.
Ultra David. He does commentary for fighting games. Okay. He's a lawyer in gaming, and now he's pays attention to esports.
But yeah, I think like Bryce Blum and Snoopin, who used to play for, if I'm not mistaken, Fnatic. Mm-hmm. I think they've been very like. Well, now he works for like Facebook, but I think they've been very vocal on to like the whole being able to. Providing players like some opportunity for someone to look at their contract.
For sure.
To be like, hey, we never heard of this org. Regardless, like someone should be looking at your contract to make sure that you're not getting like screwed over.
You have to do it now because they are robbing you. I'm not saying they're gonna rob you. They are already robbing you.
I mean, now you also have organizations that are like, now the new thing is now like promising things like health insurance and like benefits and shit like that. And like that's like now it's like and I think that's more so now to have like players like have like their parental units be more inclined to be like, yeah, you could totally get
F all like, hey yo, listen, kids out there, if you're under the age of 26, get on your
get
damn
vaccinated.
Parents plan.
Oh, that's not what you're
vaccinated.
That's not what you're my bad.
That's good too though.
As a licensed healthcare professional, I like to advise you. Get vaccinated.
So I don't know how or why, but some flat earthers is gonna come for you. I don't know how. They gonna come for you. Just you.
And guess what? I knocked their ass right off the flat earth.
No, but in all seriousness, if like an organization's offering you health insurance, like see what the fuck the health insurance is.
They do have. There are some legit ones. I'm not gonna lie. There are some legit orgs out
because there are some organizations that'll be like, you got this health insurance, you think it's all good, then you end up in an ER, and suddenly you're paying $300 for your ER visit, or you get admitted, and all of a sudden your health insurance is like, we're not covering this.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And then you got to go back to your organization, like, why'd you give me this bogus ass health insurance?
I was gonna say. A lot of the ones that offer official health care, well, first off, they're going to send you to a portal that's covered by yada yada. And that deductible is going to be taken out. You'll know if that's coming. But besides that point, you're still right. Just be careful what you're signing. TLDR, just be careful. That was way off topic. I just had to say that because I hate esports.
No, that's what this.
I hate it.
That's what this podcast is
Sponsorships.
about. This is what this podcast is about. We go off tangents all the time.
I hate esports. I don't hate esports.
Rip Circuit City.
I'm not here to make money off esports. But I see people get robbed all the time. I just do. I do all the time.
I was about to say you could leave. Time out real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna move the camera and then
I was like, I keep talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of parents approving of like your lifestyle and shit, like how you feel about there's a Simpsons episode coming out about esports. Yeah.
It's Bart Simpson doing esports.
Yeah, and it's essentially.
it actually already premiered.
Yeah, it did.
So it's essentially because I know like the highlights are basically because it's on our topic list. It's essentially about like Bart becoming like really good at esports, and then like all these parents being shocked about how much money they make, and then Homer being like upset that like Bart is like wasting his time, and to prove a point he like sabotages him, and then like to get him out of esports. How you feel about that?
That's a common story, but I'm gonna be honest. A lot of the people that go out of their way to tell that story suck at telling that story, so I don't really care about the story itself. I mean, that's cool, and I'm glad that recognition is there. I'm not mad at that, but I mean, I feel like I've seen that narrative told many times. I mean, I'll admit I was a part of that narrative starting out. I definitely dropped out of college to do what I've been doing.
Yeah.
It was not intentional. It was like either I pay for school or go to school, and I couldn't go to school unless I competed because that's where the money came from, right? But besides that point, like, yeah, I mean, I remember the disapproval process, yada yada.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's a tired ass story. There's different angles to tell the narrative about esports and the culture, and I also don't like the lies about all of these esports players making money. We're not at that point yet. I know Counter-Strike and some of these places are exceptions. Dota is crowdfunded.
Yeah, Dota's always been crowdfunded.
I'll admit the
League
League of Legends does have great franchising benefits and there's money involved, but even that is a slow and steady burn as compared to everything that's happening now. It's not the same thing. It's not. We're not at the point where we should be making that. I don't mind that story being told. It's pretty cool, but tell the truth. Tell the truth.
So honestly, though, as someone who did y'all watch the episode?
I didn't even know about it until just now.
So it doesn't. It's not. The Simpsons they definitely consulted some people within the industry about the episode. So it's not really about like showcasing how great gaming it is or anything. Mm-hmm. It's literally like just satire of like what people on the outside see esports and gaming. Like there's a part of the episode where when Bart finally tells Homer like how much money he's making, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make he's like, "I'm gonna make $1,000." Like you guys probably saw like a video of the tweet going around. Yeah. But like after that, Homer's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be his like manager, and I'm gonna find him a coach." And so like he invites some dude who comes over, and he knocks on the door, and Marge answers the door, and she's like, "Oh, are you here to coach the kids?" And he doesn't respond, right? He doesn't say anything. So she asks him another question, and then he whips out a card that says like, "I can only have conversations if it's about games." And she's like, "Oh, so you're here to play games?" And he's like, "Yeah," and then walks in. So like it was more of like making fun of like little things, little niches that people think, but there was little hints of stuff that like I'm pretty sure went over the average person's head and probably went over some esports people's heads. Like there's a part in the episode where they're at the school, they win the tournament, and they're about to get their money, but they're getting it in cash, and the principal is handing Bart the money, and like Bart's like let go of the money, like let go of the envelope, and he's like, "I can't." He's like, "Why not?" He's like, "I've never had this much money in my hand before." So he's like, "Oh, just let me look at it." So he rips open the thing and he starts counting the money. He's like, "Oh, wow." And then Homer walks by and snatches it. But like they were making fun of like tournament organizers either not having the money to pay out to kids or holding their funds because like we never seen this amount of money come in.
Boy,
so we're not really trying to give it out.
You know, it's funny. We're in the heart of one of the places that robbed a lot of people. Hello, Boston. I will never forget a couple of the tournaments out here that did the same thing. You know who always seems to get robbed? Smash players. Smash Brothers players are the gods of getting robbed, and it's the tournament organizers.
Controversial.
I have no problem saying I don't care. Get mad.
What's happening at PAX right now?
Well, thank God it's at PAX. If it was anywhere else, but that happened. That is exactly what happened. A lot of people would sign up for these events, and they would have the fat stack of money. But you got to pay these people. You got to pay them out. So they held the money and said the tournament didn't happen, or we lost the funds, or this happened. We got to pay for it. Like they pocketed it.
So I think a lot of people in the esports and stuff like that, they don't realize that like certain things happen on a regular basis.
Yeah.
and like, or like they don't realize like you can get fucked just because someone promises you money. It's the same thing. Also, like it's like the idea of like a regular job. Like you want to work overtime, you make this much money, and then it's like all of a sudden you get the check and you're like, why didn't I make as much money as I was promised? Because you had to pay taxes and shit. And it's the same thing in esports. People be like, yo, I'm about to drop and I'm about to make like 10K on this tournament. It's gonna be amazing. Blah 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 blah. I'm set for life. Da 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 da. And then all of a sudden it's
That's
like
a 1099, bro.
And then all of a sudden like you get taxes, and all of a sudden like they hand you a form right before you get your money, and they're like, yo, fill this out real quick, and then you're like, what the fuck? And you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and all of a sudden like you get nothing.
Yeah.
And then they're like, this is bullshit.
I'm gonna say though, I got lucky with my 5K win. I saw
my God. I'm going to the bathroom.
I saw
God.
the whole 5K check go into my bank.
But that was a 1099 though.
Yeah.
So you had to pay taxes.
No, I had no taxes on it.
Oh, you going to
There was
jail?
no taxes on it.
Nah, you going to
Yo,
jail.
delete that part.
Delete that.
Delete that.
You going to jail. Did you? So I found this little fun fact.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you know that Apex Legends brought in $92 million in-game transactions
Shit. And
since release
didn't like
across
Apex,
all
didn't
platforms?
Apex only make like 3 million or some shit like that?
Was that after Battle Pass came out?
I think that was
or before
Anthem.
Battle Pass?
Anthem. That's what I meant.
This was in the month of. I think it was essentially before the Battle
Yeah,
Pass.
before Battle Pass, okay.
So like that number's gonna skyrocket, but like 92. This is in-game transactions across all platforms.
That's crazy.
And that's just for cosmetics too.
That just goes to show you how much like how easy it is to like market to people that are on the hype train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Especially coming from a game that's from a company that made a game that flew on the radar, essentially, with Titanfall.
Is paying Ninja $1 million flying under the radar though?
no, he's talking about Titanfall flying.
Oh,
Titanfall 2
I was
flying
about
under
to
the
say
radar.
like
No, Apex Legends definitely making their money back for that investment they gave to Ninja.
They didn't. You know what? They didn't pay Ninja enough.
Oh, I know that.
Oh yeah.
I'm with you on that.
I want to know.
something
No,
on
I'm
this
mad
episode.
about that because I'll say it again. There's advisors. There are advisors, and now I think they split the pot. Like, listen, I know also they paid Shroud as well. This is why I say I'm a little concerned. I'm sure. Okay, maybe they both got $1 million, and in Shroud, Ninja's huge. Believe it or not, Shroud's still bigger than Ninja. But besides that point, do these people know how to count? And this information isn't available, which is why I'm like concerned. Do they know how to count the impressions that they have? Do they know how to measure that and turn it into currency? Because if they did, and you said it, listen, $1 million sounds great until you realize that you can bring in 97 million. You didn't even get like that's 1%.
$1 million sounds great until you realize that the company made $37 million in a month.
Right. How much is
Wait,
it? Besides
wait,
that point,
were you saying 37 from?
Is it 37? How much?
No. They made 92 million
92.
in a month.
92 million
since the release.
Since
This was
launch.
before
Okay,
Battle
all
Pass.
right, that's fine. All right. So how much did they make the first month? I only care about that number for the moment. Does anyone know? Was it like 50 million or something like that?
No, that was the number. We're basing it was estimated of 92 million of in-game transactions.
I know that.
Since like it came out in
Release.
February. It was
Yeah.
the game came, so essentially
But still, if
from
you take
February
it-
to the beginning of March.
Okay, let's cut that
So, like,
number
yeah,
in
it's
half.
first month.
Let's cut that number in half and say that that's how much money they made.
Let's just say 41 million they made.
41 million,
That's about half, 92.
and they only paid one to market it. I don't like those numbers.
I mean, it's a little bit more than one because they paid the other streamers, but I get what you're saying.
I
I
don't
get
give
what
a
you're saying.
fuck.
No, I'm with you. I get what you're saying, but it's like again, they don't know. The streamers didn't know what that revenue was going to be for them.
This is why I'm so glad Fashion Nova does stuff like give you a freaking code,
Why are you shopping at Fashion
an
Nova?
endorsement. I'm gonna tell you why.
First off, I love Fashion Nova, so.
Blash and Blova. I know what that reference is to. All right, Blash and Blova. All right, so listen. the reason why I love it is because like you need to be able to keep track of these things. If Ninja knew how much of an impact he had to bringing those people onto that platform and playing that game, if there was some way to track it, some code, a skin. This is why I love the skin thing that PUBG did for a little while. You know how much you're worth because you can actually track how many skins you sold or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So say, all right, guys, if you use this code to download Apex Legends, you get this skin. Skin is free. You just in the game is free. But they're paying you X amount of money to market the game and sell it. Now you can actually track that. I mean, you can see
you got
how many skins you gave off. You can see the skins in game.
I mean, if you go back to YouTubers being sponsored by like remember when like War Machines was like sponsoring like YouTubers and they're like, yo, use the code blah 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 and you get $10,000 of worth of in-game currency. You get, or not $10,000, but you get like whatever. You get in-game currency. You get this skin. Blah blah blah. That's a way to track.
Right.
If you could do that in Apex and stuff like that, you would see that a lot more Twitch streamers, a lot more streamers would just be like, shit, I have way more of a better influence. I should ask for more money next time.
The money itself, I'm going to say this for other people listening. The money itself isn't the factor, like with those promo codes. The money itself, that is the part that doesn't matter. It's what those people, those influencers are doing is they're establishing something that they can track so that when it comes to the business side later, they have evidence.
Number,
They have numbers. They have a selling little pocket, little patch of information that they can use to sell. That's why it's important.
And it's the misconception that it's the idea of like for some reason people think that because it's 2019, companies are trying to do more for people. That's bullshit.
No.
Companies will always try to do things for people by doing the least amount, spending the least amount and doing the least amount.
Let me put a
They're
number.
trying to get the most back without giving, with giving as little as possible.
Fam, you know how many people wrote, like, I saw some of the articles that was like, oh my God, Ninja got $1 million for Apex. I was like, you know how, I feel like they sold him the exposure. You do this, we're going to give you this and some exposure.
I saw a meme on Twitter. It was like, PayPal or exposure. I was like, oh.
That's what I'm saying, but that's what they do. So, like, I mean, okay. Like, all of these people writing and it seems like a big deal. But the person that knows about marketability, look, the dude just did a commercial with NFL. His buying power is a little bit stronger than $1 million for a quick commercial. I'm thinking about, like I said, we look at the same podcast.
Go even big. He just did a commercial for Samsung.
Right.
This is bigger than the NFL.
Right.
Not to mention that commercial probably was shown on TV.
Global.
On ads. Exactly. Everywhere.
And somebody's child saw that and kept yapping, so a lot more adults know about it. For sure.
I thought you were about to be like, a child saw that and they just couldn't stop talking to me about it.
That's funny. I can see that happening too.
On the
my luck. On the plane. All right. I don't talk about that plane ride. But no, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Hey, you work in gaming? You ever heard of Ninja? Fuck you, kid.
I have to stop traveling with this Twitch bag. That's exactly how it happened.
You gotta stop like.
I had the bag. I was like, oh, you know Twitch? Oh, you play Fortnite? Oh, you know Ninja? Oh, Tfue's better than Ninja. I don't care.
What if he asked you if you were a ninja?
If I was Ninja?
Yeah, what if he was like, hey, are you a ninja?
Fam.
Would you be mad?
Yes.
I would be.
Because it's obvious he doesn't really watch Twitch.
I like how you went. I wouldn't be mad. Really?
My hair
No,
is
I
not
said I would
blue.
be too.
be mad.
No, I said I
hair's
would be
not blue.
too.
Oh.
We sort of look the same, so I see where you're coming from with that.
You a ninja?
Yeah. We look the same.
You know what I was about to say? But,
I could pass for ninja.
But I ain't trying to get killed right now in this podcast.
Yeah, you technically Hispanic, but not
No,
when
not
the cops
even that. I
stop
was
you.
gonna
So
say,
like you good.
I was.
You're not good actually.
I was gonna be
I don't know
like-
where he's going with this. I'm kind of scared.
So go ahead, say it.
I can't do
Say,
it.
all right, thought so, motherfucker.
Guys,
Anyway.
welcome to the GG2 podcast. Special guest today, Swoozy in the building.
I remember doing that too.
How much more time we got? This podcast is over. I'm done.
Oh, he called this man Swoozy.
Oh my god. It's 2019.
I'm so lucky that
man.
I'm so lucky Dosh and I are friends. I'd be dead right
Oh
now.
my god. People still call me that too. I'm like,
Hey, you go,
Really?
Yo, are you
'Cause
gonna,
I got
are you gonna
bigger.
snuff him? Are you gonna snuff him?
no, I'm good.
Nah, I gotta fight.
No. He let me stay on the mattress. We had to take off the top bunk, so I'm chilling.
Nah, y'all should fight.
We should fight. No, I ain't mad. I'm mad, but I ain't mad. I still hear that.
No,
and it's funny because
I wish my
we
video
don't look
didn't
the
stop
same,
recording in
but
10
like I
minutes.
got bigger. I got like heavier.
Oh, so you calling Swoozy small?
And then no, he got heavier. So people still
Oh, so you
think we
calling
look
him
the same.
fat?
We doing this?
Damn, y'all disrespectful.
We do.
Breaking news.
I hate y'all. I don't wear tank tops.
Small time podcast calls out Swoozy.
Nah, he called him fat.
Call him fat.
He didn't call him out. He called him fat.
I call him fat. Y'all gonna get me in trouble.
No, that's all.
Well, pretty much discussed everything that I had on my docket. So
Yeah, word.
well, this was fun.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast.
We had our first guest, even though it wasn't in the interview format, but we'll have that later.
But here's the thing, like, do we really want to do, like, do we want to do internet, like, interview style shit, or do we just want to have someone just come and kick it on our show?
Both. I want to do both.
We could just combine it, make it one thing. Because I feel like this was a little bit of an interview.
Y'all got insider stuff that I don't never want to share again. Because I hate the inside.
Yeah, but I wanted it to be.
I like the outside.
I don't know.
I like the outside.
That's more like a business thing that we can discuss off the podcast.
I hate y'all.
Yeah.
Who?
I hate you both.
Calm down, Susie.
Yo, I'm leaving.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Again, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all your favorite DSPs, digital streaming platforms.
And actually, while we got them, Honzo, that mic, this mic, you can plug. What are you doing right now?
Who are you, Sean Evans? This ain't Hot Ones.
Coming from Troy Buttons over here. If you don't be quiet and let him get his stuff off.
Yo, Fat Susie. Don't you got muscle T to go like
it's
rip?
Hanzo's turn to speak. Shut up. Let him get his stuff off.
Hanzo, do your shout outs, man. We love you, man.
Right now, I'm not doing anything as much as I want to. Pretty much on hiatus until my new PC is done. Then I'll be popping off back in streaming and airsoft stuff.
Are you selling your own airsoft merch?
Not yet. I will be though.
Are you gonna be an airsoft streamer?
Yeah, actually.
Oh,
I'm
see,
trying to
that was
do
a joke, and you just walked right in.
No, like, a lot of people don't. A lot of people are actually doing live streaming airsoft games.
Oh man, you call me Sean Evans.
Dose, you got anything you need to shout out?
I want to give a shout outs to my family and not my real one. I'm just playing. I love everybody. But, yeah, nah, shout outs to y'all for having me on here. I wouldn't be in this stupid city if it wasn't for y'all. Because I can't stand being in Boston when there's
You're
cars
welcome.
outside.
Big beans.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's wild. Every
Man,
time, the last time we hung out, I met Troy in real life in Boston, and it was an accident that we almost got into. And never mind, I don't tell the rest. And then this next time we was out here, I think that's when y'all two met. But then we ended up having to babysit somebody whose name won't be mentioned, and he almost got thrown out the club.
I ain't say that.
And then I ended up with some white girl.
I ain't
and then you
saving
were
no
there.
lives. I ain't saving no lives this trip. That's
Yeah,
all
for
I'm
real.
saying.
Nah, like yo, you die by yourself.
I do think it's kind of nice though. Like it all started because I met Hanzo. I've known Hanzo for years. Hanzo and I know each other, and then I met Dosh, and then through Dosh I met Troy. Now Troy and I have this podcast. So just remember, guys, like it's gonna get real sentimental, but like
He gonna cry.
yeah, we'll cry. No,
Yeah.
like just remember, like your friends. Like if you want to create shit with your friends, you could do that. Like don't ever be like be like, oh, we can't do something because we friends or some shit. Like if you want to create shit, create shit.
Just don't do it in esports.
Or if you do it, in esports, just be genuine.
Yeah. With that being said,
Or we gonna call you out.
that being said, you could subscribe to Susie's channel. Thank you, Susie, for being on the podcast.
He gonna actually get subs because of y'all punk ass. So I'm going outside. Get in my Cadillac.
But you can find us on Twitter at till GG do us part. And this is episode 5.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.